In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact workflow I use to make a Manhwa recap, from finding the panels to generating the script to the voiceover, all the way to the final edit in DaVinci Resolve. By the end, you'll have a complete system that takes a process that used to take half a day and cuts it down to under 30 minutes. Let's get into it. Okay, so the very first thing you need to do is get the images, or what I call panels, from the Manhwa. To do this, we will use a Chrome extension called Panel Downloader. This tool is helpful because it keeps the images in the right order. You don't want the story to be mixed up. First, add the extension to your Chrome browser, then go to the website where you read your Manhwa. Open the chapter you want to recap. Before you do anything else, scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. This is important because the website needs to load every image. If you don't scroll, the downloader might miss some pictures. Now click the panel downloader icon, click on images, give your folder a specific name, maybe the name of the Manhwa and the chapter number. This keeps your computer clean and organized. Hit preview to see if all the images are there. If everything looks good, hit download. Now you have a perfect folder with all your panels ready for the next step. Now we head over to recapmanga.com. This is the place where the magic happens. Let's talk about the price for a second. I am on an S plan. The developer was very kind and gave me the top tier. Usually, if you are on a free or lower plan, you can only upload 15 panels for a chapter. But with S-Class, you can upload much more. Nevertheless, you can check out the prices and the features later. For now, let's just go to your dashboard and click Create Project. Give it a name, write a synopsis. This is just a short summary of the story. Choose Manhwa as your type. Next, you pick the style of the script. I always choose witty. I like it because witty adds funny comments and extra details instead of just reading what is in the pictures. It makes the video much more interesting and saves you from reused content. After that, click Create Project. Inside that, upload the panels we downloaded earlier. Now the first part of the script generation starts. It usually takes 5 minutes, but for me it took 3 minutes today. Once that part is finished, the website takes you to a new page for the last step. Press the button, and in about 1 minute, you will have your full script. Read it over, edit if you want to change something, and don't forget to click save. Now we have our script ready. Now click the Voiceover Studio button. The website will take you to a new page. You will see two types of voices. One is a simple version and one is a Pro Studio. You should definitely choose the Pro ones. The voices are very high quality, comparable to 11 Labs. To make the voice, you use Sonic credits. These are different from Mana we use for the script. Once you pick a voice, hit generate, you will have your audio. Download the audio, but also download the SRT file. I will explain why later, but this small file makes your editing workflow much faster. Now before we leave the website, we need to use the cropper. This tool is a miracle. Usually, to make a video, we have to take screenshots for every single panel by hand. This can take 30 or 40 minutes. The cropper does this automatically in just 2 minutes. It takes all the important parts of the artwork and saves them for you. But there is one more important rule: you must use the cropper within 12 hours of making your script. After 12 hours, the website deletes the panel to keep the site safe and fast. If you wait too long, you will have to make the script again to use the cropper. So do it right away. By the way, there is a thumbnail section coming in the future, but for now we have everything we need. So in just about 10 minutes, we did the work that usually takes half a day. For the editing, let's open up DaVinci Resolve and jump straight into your project. Whether you're on version 20 or testing the public beta 21, the workflow here is essentially identical. One of the biggest advantages of Resolve is that the free version already gives you access to professional editing, effects, color grading, and audio tools, so you're not missing anything essential. Head into the Edit tab, since that's where most of the work happens. On the left, you'll see your media pool with the folders, bins I created earlier. It might look like a lot, but keeping things organized here saves you time later when the project gets bigger. Start by dragging all your files, images, audio, and your SRT subtitle file into the media pool, then bring your audio onto the timeline first. This becomes your base. After that, add your SRT file. The subtitle acts as a visual timing guide. So instead of replaying audio constantly, you can match each image to a subtitle hook. You can match each image to a subtitle block. Each subtitle, one segment of dialogue. If you already know the story or have read the manhwa, this step becomes even faster because you understand the pacing. Now begin placing your images onto the timeline, aligning them with the subtitle sections. While you're doing this, don't just drop them in randomly. Roughly position each image where its motion will start. For example, if you plan to pan upwards later, position the image slightly lower. If you plan to zoom in, you can leave it centered but keep the intention in mind. You're not animating yet, just preparing the starting point. This saves time later because you won't need to readjust everything when adding motion. Once everything is aligned, move on to styling first. Pick one clip and set up your background. You have two main options. The quick method is using blanking fill, which automatically creates a blur background layer. It's fast and adjustable, but the downside is that the background moves with the image, which can sometimes look off. The better method is duplicating the image. Place a copy on a lower track, scale it up significantly, and apply a Gaussian blur from the effects. This creates a soft background while keeping your main image independent. After setting this up on one clip, use paste attributes to copy only the blur across your other clips. Then add drop shadow from the effects library to your main image. This adds depth and separates the subject from the background. Again, apply it once and paste it all across all the clips. At this stage, you're only applying static effects, things that should be consistent everywhere. Now that your base is clean, move on to motion. Select the clip and open the inspector panel. This is where you control transform settings, like zoom and position. Add keyframes by clicking the small diamond icon next to these properties. Set your starting keyframe at the beginning of the clip, which you already roughly positioned earlier. Then move forward in time and adjust the image. Zoom in, pan up, down or sideways. Resolve will animate between those points. Do this manually for each clip. Don't copy keyframes across multiple images. Every panel is different and copied motion will usually look wrong. You can also use dynamic zoom for quicker motion. It automatically creates a zoom effect and you can swap direction, zoom in or out. It's useful, but you should still adjust the framing boxes to make sure it focuses on the right part of the image. Combining dynamic zoom with the small manual adjustments can make the motion feel more natural. Once your motion is done, you can enhance things further. For effects like camera shake, use an adjustment clip instead of applying it directly to a footage. Drag an adjustment clip above your timeline, apply a camera shake effect to it, and adjust the settings. This way, anything under it is affected, and you can control where the shake starts and ends. You can even save these in the power bin to reuse in future projects. To avoid a flat look, add variation. Sometimes use multiple images at once, 2, 3 or more, especially during faster dialogue. Layer them on different tracks and animate them slightly differently. Add a pop transition. This creates more energy and keeps the viewer engaged. Next, add overlays for extra polish. You can download free assets like dust, particles or light leaks from Pixabay. Place them above your clips, then change the composite mode in the inspector to something like screen and lower the opacity. This adds the subtle texture without overpowering your visuals. You can also explore additional resolve transition and effects online. Many creators share free presets that can speed up your workflow and improve quality. For audio, you don't need anything too complex. If you're using a good voice generation, use DaVinci's built-in loudness meter to normalize your audio to around -14, which is the standard for platforms like YouTube. You can right-click your audio clip and normalize it, or just adjust the levels manually to keep everything balanced. Finally, go to the Deliver tab to export. Make sure that the preset suits the YouTube, adjust settings if needed, and render your video. And that is the full workflow: panels, scripts, voiceover, edit, all done. But before you just hit upload, I want to say something that most recap videos skip. Manhwa recap channels are not generic YouTube content. You're in a niche where YouTube actively watches for reused content, and where one lazy upload can hurt your whole channel. So make sure your script has real personality and commentary, not just narration of what is on the screen. Make sure your editing has variation and energy, and make sure your watch time is strong, because that is your best protection against any flag or claim. The audience in this space is small, loyal, and they know the difference between a creator who actually cares and one who is just churning content out. For the upload itself, write your title like a fan would search it, not just the manhwa name. Add your chapter timestamps in your description. Use both manhwa recap and manga recap in your tags together, and pause from the same day, same time each week, until you have a better idea of when your audience is live. For thumbnails, I have a full dedicated video on that. Link is in the description and on the screen right now. If this helped you, like and subscribe, leave a comment so this video does good too. Take care, bye.